Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Megan from Grey Arrow Tarot, and I am a certified transformational tarot coach and intuitive tarot reader. And today we are going to meet your future self. We're going to get a peek at who your future self is, what this person is doing, what energy they carry, all of that kind of stuff, this version of you. This was a viewer suggestion. This was a reading that one of you suggested in the comments. And I really love doing readings like this. So if you have something you are looking to get perspective on or have a reading on, you're welcome to suggest your own. I do have a little bit of a list, so it might take me some time to get to it, but I really do love to do readings that you want to hear. And when I was doing this reading, when I was setting it up, I was debating about what type of parameters we might put on this reading. So like, is this the future version of yourself like 3 years from now, or that kind of thing? And what I landed on is I do think parameters would be helpful because I think it will help you get more clarity and help you focus in a little bit more on the energy that you're looking to connect with. But I want to give you space to put the parameters on this. So if you want to meet the future version of yourself in like 2 to 3 years, you can set that intention before you pick your group. If you are going through a struggle right now and you want to meet the future version of yourself who has overcome this struggle, you can set that parameter. Or if maybe you recently made a big decision, like maybe you decided to do a career change or to move to a different state or country or that kind of thing. And you want to meet the version of you that's settled and thriving in this new decision, this new direction. You can set those parameters. So you can meet whatever version of yourself, whatever future version of yourself you would like to connect with. So I'm going to get quiet for a few seconds and give you space to set that intention. If you need more time, you can always pause the video, but just take a few seconds and set the intention with the future version of yourself that you would like to connect with today. Okay, so now with that in mind, when you are ready, you can go ahead and choose your group. You cannot choose wrong. Whatever pile is speaking to you has at least one message for you. And if you are pulled to multiple groups, it just means there are messages for you in multiple piles, and you should feel able to listen to whatever groups you are called to. This is going to be pile number 1, and this is pile number 2, this is pile number 3, and this is pile number 4. Now, of course, this is a general reading, so every message that's said may not resonate with you. That's perfectly fine. You are not bound by what comes up. Take what resonates and leave the rest for who it's meant for. If you need some more time to sit with the cards, you can go ahead and pause the video here. Otherwise, when you're ready, you'll find the timestamp in the description box below, and I'll see what you're reading. Hey, Pal One. Welcome to your reading. Let's see what future version of you wants to come through. What does the future version of you look like? What does the future version of you look like? So we've got 2, 3. Let's get one more. What does the future version of you look like? Okay. So first up, we've got Temperance, which I love this card. I love how it's depicted on this deck. Can't wait to get into that with you. Then we have the Page of Swords reversed, followed by the Three of Wands reversed, and the Sun. Okay. Okay, so if you've had a reading here with me before, you know I like to kind of look at the uprights and reversals, and they tend to mean different things for me in different readings. In this case, I'm using it as how balanced you are with your internal and external world. And that is one I use a lot, but that's what's coming through for me here. And with these uprights and reversals, we've got 2 and 2. So I feel like this future version of you is very balanced. I think you have a really good balance of like going out, being in the world, and giving your time, energy, and attention to your physical material world, to your contributions in the world, while also knowing when to come back and go inward, when to have a quiet night and at home, when to just take time to restore your energy, and just to when to take time to slow down. Also, like meditation practice might be really important for you in the future. And if you kind of can't imagine that would be you, something that's like meditative and nourishing is kind of the energy that I'm getting. So there's just this really good balance between like how you're contributing to the world, but then also how you are refueling and nourishing yourself. Specifically nourishing yourself is coming through really strongly for me. I just think you've really learned how to fully integrate and lean into self-care. And in a way, again, that's really restorative, really nourishing, and it's just very balanced. Again, just lots of balance really coming through. And there is also an energy of thriving here with both the Temperance and the Sun card, and both your upright cards are major arcana cards here. So I do feel like you are kind of doing big things in the future. This future version of you is doing big things, is doing things that I do feel like it's kind of like what the current version of you might be dreaming of. But it's also like it's very impactful what you're doing. And because this is a general reading, the degree of impact, the scale of impact might vary. For some of you, this could be global. Like you could be in a position where you either are some kind of a celebrity or some kind of like internet personality, or you're just somebody who has a really large following that you are influencing a lot of people. In other cases, it's you influencing your community. So it's you having a big impact in your community, in your family. But whatever it is, your influence on others, I think, is really huge. And what you're doing, it's like there's this energy too of like living your life's purpose, of really coming into alignment with that and being able to put that out into the world. There's just such a fulfilled energy that I'm getting from these 2 upright cards. And then again, like I said, with these reversals, there's just this energy of you really nourishing yourself, really taking care of yourself. Also, like, even though you're doing this stuff and like you're living your life purpose here, I also am getting like a sense of expansion and curiosity about who you are and what you're growing into. There's just this really healthy connection to self that I'm getting, like a real need to continue to check in with yourself and to keep growing and evolving. Like, even though you are, what I'm seeing is like you living a really fulfilled life, you also have this awareness that it's fulfilling for this version of you. And there will still even be a new version of you, a new future you who will emerge. And you want to be able to evolve into that really gracefully. And I feel like you're kind of doing that work and you're connected to yourself in that way to allow that to happen, which is really, really beautiful. And I love that for you. Let's get into this card by card. So first of all, with this Temperance card, so one, I feel like I'm getting 2 messages with this card. You may resonate with both or one or the other. But what I'm getting is one, when I first saw this card, I really love this like rainbow magic alchemized energy that we're getting here. So I feel like you have really learned to master your reality and master your energy. So you have really learned how to take bad situations, how to take things that haven't quite worked out for you and get the lesson. Get what you were supposed to learn and then turn it into gold. Turn it into a really valuable opportunity. Turn it into something really meaningful. So this isn't to say that like you're never disappointed or that kind of stuff. No, like you're human still in the future. And you are very aware that things don't always work out. And I think you're also, again, because we have this connection to self, I think you are really good at feeling your feelings. But it's just the idea that like you don't stay stuck in that disappointment. You don't stay stuck in the things that didn't work out. You're really able to be like, yeah, that sucked. But what can I learn from it? Oh, okay, I see that lesson. how can I take this lesson? How can I take this situation and turn it into an opportunity? How can I turn it into something that's really valuable to me and to others? So there's this real like rising up energy that I get from you. Like, you're very resilient. You really are not deterred. And again, there's like this calm energy about you. Like, I feel like when things don't go your way, when in this future version of you, you're really able to just like take a breath and be like, okay, let's see what we can do next. Let's see how we can move forward. Let's see what's the best thing I can do with the situation that I have. There's just this steadiness about you that I'm getting with this card that feels really supportive. And the second interpretation that I'm getting with this card is having mastered the lesson of like, things take time, which I think is so challenging. It's also something I've had to work through myself. But like, things take time. And I think especially in this day and age, it can be challenging because we have so much instant gratification. You know, we just have so much of it. If we're bored for a second, we have our phones. And I think there's a lot of us who are kind of working through that and trying to bring back a little bit more quiet, a little bit more stillness. Perhaps that's one of your goals right now. But I feel like this future version of you has really mastered how to slow down and just allow things to take time without feeling impatient about it, to really take like victory in the growth, in the growing process, in the transformative process, and to really understand like, this is peak, the journey is the destination energy. So like, this version of you gets that and is open to whatever comes next. And it just feels really empowering. Like, it's a very grounded but empowered energy. I'm also getting kind of leadership energy. I do feel like this version of you is in some kind of a leadership role. Whether it be like you are running your own business and no one's looking up to you, or you are a boss at your job, or what have you. There is just some kind of, I'm just getting this idea of like people looking to you for direction and guidance. And you are more than willing and more than able to rise to the occasion and to give them that direction and guidance. Now, with this Page of Swords reversed, let me look at this upright for a second. So I love that we have this character here who is really just gazing like almost lovingly like at this sword, at this new thing that's in this character's life. I love that we have this also up here. It's like this opening that's almost like, you know, we see the sun shining in, that there's like a new idea, a new opportunity. And with this reversal, to me, like, this is giving me the impression like that you are always open to new things, to new opportunities, to new situations. Like, what I'm kind of getting with this sword is really like a new skill coming in for you, a new interest coming in for you. And you're just so open to like exploring and playing. And with the Page of Swords, like, this talks to like the early stages of something new, where you're just kind of like it's the exploration phase. So like you're not really planning, you're just seeing what's possible. You're asking questions, maybe doing some research. This card coming up in the reverse tells me this is like something personal for you. So it's not about you like picking up a new hobby that you want to have like a side income for. I was trying not to say side hustle because I kind of hate bringing hustle into everything. So side incomes, like this isn't necessarily something that like you'll take in and be like, oh, I want to do like a side income and create money from this. Like, no, this is something that's just personal for you. And I feel like you're just very open to taking on new skills or trying new things. You may not keep all the skills you try. You don't have to. It really is just about the exploration and seeing what might come from it. And maybe it'll lead you to something else that you really love. So there's just this openness and curiosity. I think that's also a really important part with this card, is there's this curiosity about things. And I think that's also part of what makes you such a good leader, is that instead of getting upset about things, you get curious. So even like, let's just say in this scenario, you are a manager of some kind and you are managing people. If someone on your team does not come through or does something even like disrespectful, instead of getting like upset and angry, when you address things, I feel like it's like you address things with curiosity. So it's like, hey, I noticed you did not meet your goal on this. Did something happen? Or I noticed you were really rude and disrespectful to your coworker over here. Is everything okay? Because that's not how we operate on this team. So this isn't that like you're not going to address issues. It's that you address issues with curiosity, and like you're not the type to get upset. Like you're not going to get angry and start yelling at people. I mean, yeah, not that you'll never get angry. Anger is a very healthy emotion. It's one of my favorites if we're being honest. But the point is that you're not reactive in that way. Like it's not like a screaming, hollering thing. It's a like, wow, that made me angry. So there's something that needs to be addressed here. How can I address it in a way that is as kind and generous as possible, but also sets the boundary, or gives the direction, what have you. There's just a real grounded nature about your energy. Now with this 3 of Wands, this is what's giving me the impression that like you are always curious about yourself. You are always curious about like the next level of expansion, about what's next for you. You're constantly evolving. And I feel like also this is an important part of your future you is you really have made peace with that. Like I think like it goes back to this Temperance card. Like you understand that yes, right now you might be living a very fulfilling life, but in order to keep your life in a fulfilling place, you have to keep honoring your own evolution. So this 3 of Wands to me, the 3 of Wands really speaks to expansion. And with this card coming up in the reverse, to me, that's you really honoring your inner expansion, your inner evolution, and just staying in touch with yourself. So like we talked about here, maybe you pick up some new hobbies and you enjoy doing those hobbies, but there might come a time where a hobby you love just isn't fulfilling you anymore, and you won't hesitate to let it go. Because you really are that connected with yourself and you really understand like, oh, this is the old version of me. That's just phased. Like I've just grown out of that. There's something new that wants to come in and you're excited to meet that. And this can also be true with like whatever we're talking about, career, living situation, whatever. You are just very good at staying very connected to yourself so that when changes need to be made, it's rare that it's like kind of out of the blue or chaotic. Like you will see the seeds very early because you've just developed such a close relationship with yourself and with the constant evolution of who you are. And then here with the Sun, to me, this is what's really telling me that like you are just living your dream. Like I feel like it's the current versions of you dream, but also like the future version. Like this is what you're working for. It's like you are just living your dream. You've accomplished something major. You are shining. That's what this card is really giving me the energy of. Just you are shining. You are seen. This is, to me, it does feel very public. Like you are out, you are seen. And again, public can mean online. It can mean like a big global community. It can mean like celebrity superstar kind of energy, but it can also be within your local community. It can be like everybody kind of knows you because of the presence that you have made. And for some of you, I feel like you didn't set out to be this recognizable or known. And I think that's part of why you're able to stay so pure about it, is because the recognition isn't the point. It's a byproduct. But you're able to stay connected to yourself. And as long as you are living through that connection, this doesn't faze you. Like you are fine to be seen as widely as you are, but you would also be fine if that went away. Like it doesn't feel like ego to me, that like you're like in your ego and that was the goal. It just feels very grounded. Like you're doing your heart's work. You're living your soul's purpose at this point in your timeline. And it's led you to a certain amount of recognition. Now let's add some oracle cards here. Let's see what else we've got for you. What else can you tell us about the future version of pile number 1? We've got adventures. So like that's a lot of fun. And I can totally see that, because I do feel like, again, like you are in a place where you are very successful. And I think you go on a lot of adventures. I'm getting both like travel, but also just new things to explore, new things to see. I also kind of feel like you're someone who's really good at like creating adventure in the day-to-day. Like if you haven't been to a corner of your town, a corner of like your city, you'll go out and find someplace new, like explore a new coffee shop. Like there's just there's just a real magical energy about the future version of you that I really enjoy stepping in and being with you in this. Oh, we got 2 that came out. So here, let me rearrange that. All right. So we have collaborate. So yeah, I feel like that makes sense too, because I do feel like for For the future version of you to be this grounded, I feel like collaboration would be kind of necessary. Like, you're not doing it all. You're doing enough, but you're not doing it all. So I do feel like there is, like we talked about. So if you are managing a team, you're really good at collaborating with your team. You're not like just delegating and making all the decisions. You are a really grounded leader, and you know how to utilize and be open to the collaborations of your team. If you are working for yourself, I think you're good at offloading. Like, you don't have to be the person who does everything. And so yeah, there's just this real energy of teamwork and collaboration in your energy. And then we've got care, which I was picking up on this early in the reading. I do feel like for a lot of you, this is first and foremost self-care. Again, I just feel a very nurturing energy coming towards you, specifically toward yourself, but also to others. Like, I think you really have found the value of self-care. And so, like, it's the kind of energy, like, I'm almost getting, we'll stick with the version of you, or the example where the future you is running a team. You're good at self-care. So it's almost like if someone on your team says, like, oh, like, I can work on that this weekend. And you say, oh, no, please do not do that. I need you to be like taking care of yourself this weekend. That can wait till Monday. So there's that kind of an energy, just that you really prioritize care and well-being, your own and others. All right, pile number 1, let's get you some last messages here. Last messages for pile number 1. All right, these are popping right out. Relax, delight in powdered gold sunshine. Yeah, this is to me your energy. You are very relaxed. You are very, very relaxed, this version of you, and I love that for you. And play. Among the grass and wild violets lie undisturbed little secrets to uncover. So I feel like this is two messages. So one, I do feel like you are very playful. Like, you're very accomplished, but I just feel like your energy, like, you have fun doing what you're doing, both in your work, which is what we were getting a lot, but I also think outside of your work, just in your day-to-day life and your day-to-day energy, you have a very playful energy. But also then this message here of, like, there's that adventure energy that you like to kind of discover secrets, but it's like hidden gems. Like, I feel like that might be something that's really fun for you, that the future you really enjoys doing is finding hidden gems in your city, in your town, on the internet, like wherever is important for you. But there's just this idea of, like, having fun and checking out new things and new places and exploring. Lots of exploration, which is really, really fun. But on that note, pile number 1, I'm going to end this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, I would love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoyed this reading, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really love to have you in future videos. If you would like a more personalized experience, I have recorded readings, live readings, and coaching sessions that are all available. You can find those linked in the description box below. And if none of that's right for you, but you do want to support the channel, I also have a donation tip link. It's never expected, but it's always appreciated, and it all goes into supporting the channel. But no matter what, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's meet your future self. What can you tell us about pile number 2's future self? What can you tell us about pile number 2's future self? What can you tell us about pile number 2's future self? It's a little more than I wanted, but we'll take them. Okay, so first up we have the Queen of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles reversed. Okay, very interesting. So I feel like for you, like how I'm using the uprights and reversals is, in this case, I feel like all of these uprights, I think, are really speaking to how you are taking action in the world. Are you spending more time with yourself, going inward, doing inner work, or are you out doing things? And with all of these uprights, I see you being very in the world. There are things that you're taking action on. And this doesn't mean that you have to be like a super extroverted personality unless you are that. But it just means like you are out doing right now. You are moving visions forward. You are like that's your priority in this version of you. And it feels good. Like there's lots of, I love that we have on these two cards, they both have these like sunbursts coming from behind. Like both of these cards have like the characters really backlit, like almost shining. And I feel like that's you. We also have the sun rising over here in the Nine of Swords. So I do feel like, especially if this is somebody who's like, if you set the parameters for this reading, like if you're going through a hard time, this is you on the other side. There is a lot of alignment on the other side. And there is a lot of openness. I feel like there's a lot of fluidity. Things are really flowing for you. And I feel like you're in a position where you're able to give back. And I think it feels really good to be able to be that generous. And I think that that's true no matter if you are going through a hard time right now or not. But this future version of you is very generous. They're able to give back. They're able to pay things forward. I feel like no matter who you are or what your parameters you set, this version of you definitely had support getting to where you are, and you see and appreciate that, which is wonderful. So let's get into this card by card because we've got an extra one to get through with you. So here with the Queen of Cups, I feel like this version of you is very in touch with your intuition and creativity, very in touch with your natural rhythms. I feel like there's an energy of like you no longer subscribe to the grind is what's coming through. So if the current version of you is like in hustle, get it done mode, like yes, we have you being more externally focused and moving things forward, but it's not in a grind it out kind of way. It's in a very fluid, like, I know this is like Queen of Cups and it's more water, but like I'm getting like Earth Mother kind of energy. Like it's very maternal. It's very nurturing. And again, it's very fluid. It's not, and I love this. This is so interesting. What I'm being drawn to, the way this character is holding the shell, like she's clearly scooped it up with water, but we have something that's getting away and she's not really concerned about that. So there's this energy of like not gripping too tight to things, of allowing things like the tide to come and go as needed. And there's like no panic here. There's just deep trust. So this version of you is very deeply trusting in the evolution of life and what's coming next and things coming together. And I think trusting in yourself, you trust yourself to handle what's coming next. You trust yourself to overcome any obstacles that come your way. And that's part of how you're able to be in a pretty serene place. Now with the Six of Pentacles, this is the card that's really talking to me about generosity. This card it's a card of giving and receiving. You know, you can either see yourself depicted as the character in the center who is giving to people who need it, or you can see yourself depicted as the people who are in need of aid and support. And the reality is, in our lives, we're going to be on either side of this exchange. We're going to spend time on both sides of this exchange. And I feel like for you, the future version of you, this is what's speaking to me. I really feel like the future version of you is this character in green who is in a position of giving. I think other people at a previous time to get to this position, you've been this person already, and people have helped and supported you. So now you are thriving and you are at a position where you're able to give back. You're able to be generous. And by give back, in some cases, it's literally paying this back to the people who supported you. It may not be literally repaying them, but just, you know, if they've supported you, if there's a way that you can support them, you're very willing to do that with your time, energy, and money, whatever resources you have. In other cases, I feel like it's also like people helped you, so you're helping others. You're this person for somebody else who's up and coming. So there's a couple ways that might manifest, but I do feel like, again, like you are just in a position to be able to give, to be very generous. And this version of you like doesn't think twice. Now, this doesn't mean you're giving without boundaries. You have your boundaries, you know what you're able to do. But as long as it's within your boundaries, you don't think twice about helping. You don't think twice about paying this forward, about paying this energy forward. And it's really beautiful to sit in. Now with this Two of Cups, I love this for you. So this Two of Cups for me is Okay, so first of all, generally speaking, it is a little bit of a soulmate card. That's kind of like the quick keyword reference for this card for a lot of people. And it is to a degree for me too. So with that in mind, I do feel like in a romantic sense, you are likely in a happy, healthy romantic relationship with like soulmate energy at this point in time. This could be with the same person you're with now if you were with somebody that you already had this connection with, or it could be somebody new if you are not currently with someone. But I do have this energy for you. But beyond that, this really is like soulmate energy in all areas of your life. So like you having a career, a job, a way of earning money that's deeply, deeply aligned with you. It's a living situation that's deeply, deeply aligned with you. It's friendships, it's coworkers, it's all of the things that are just really deep in alignment. And again, what we have with these cups, we've got in both of these cup cards, we've got the beach depiction. And I'm trying to think about this deck. I don't know if they're all on the beach or not. I can't remember. But I've never noticed it before, and I'm noticing it today for you. So there is this, again, this fluidity that's happening. I also think it's really interesting that like here we have you on the banks of the water, where here the water's kind of behind you. So it's this idea that like, you're very in touch with your emotions, but it's also not something that like it's constantly at the forefront of your mind. And I think it's because like you've gotten to the point where you've really mastered your emotions in such a way where you are in touch with them that you don't have to keep thinking about them. You don't have to keep analyzing them. You're much better at like, oh, I'm feeling this way. Oh, I think that's what that means. And you're able to move on and like respond to your emotions in a really organic and natural way. It just doesn't take as much analysis as I think it might have used to for some of you, which is really, really great. I'm also being drawn to, we have like the cheers happening in the center here. That to me is like, it's a celebration action. So I feel like you actually have a lot to celebrate too. There's just a lot to celebrate for you. There's lots of evolution. There's lots of movement for you in this future version of you. Now with this 9 of Swords, I feel like I'm getting a couple messages with this. So one, the 9 of Swords can speak to like thoughts, ideas, like kind of overactive mind, the things that keep us up at night. It can speak to problems that just feel really big and really heavy. For a lot of you, with all of this positive energy, I feel like this is more a message for the present you that like by the time you reach this energy, the problems that are weighing you down, the problems that might be keeping you up at night just aren't with you anymore. I'm really being drawn to this, which looks to me like a cardinal we have here in this image. And cardinals tend to be messengers. Like it's like, I believe, I'm not sure if this is like a universal thing, but my mom used to tell me like if I saw a cardinal, I was going to get good news. And I've kind of kept that as a meaning. So it's almost like, even though you might be worried about things, there's always good news around the corner. There's always good news available to you. And I feel like that's the other message of this card is like, this doesn't mean you'll never have problems. Like things are very much in alignment for you. So this doesn't mean you will never have problems, this future version of you. But I think you are much more hopeful for solutions. You are much more open to good news being around the corner, even if things aren't currently working out. And we've got like this sun, which to me is rising. So there's this sunrise that's happening. So again, it's like things, there might be like hurdles and worries that do catch up to you sometimes. But by this point, you have this mentality, you have this belief system that the sun's always going to rise tomorrow. There's always good news that can find me. I can get through this. I will be okay. And there's just this confidence and self-trust that I think is really beautiful and really supportive. Now with this 3 of Pentacles reversed, I'm getting a couple messages with this card. So when the 3 of Pentacles is upright, it speaks to collaboration. It also speaks to learning from others. Similar to the 6 of Pentacles, this is a card that speaks where we can have different roles. So typically these two characters are seen as like the mentors and the teachers, and this character is seen as the apprentice. Now, the apprentice can also be teaching their teachers, right? Like I've heard that from, I feel like the best teachers say they always learn from their students just as much as they try to teach their students. So there's always that energy of like collaboration and receptiveness. Now, you can be different roles in this, right? At some point in time, we're the people learning. At other point in time, we might be the people teaching. So with this card coming up in the reverse, I'm almost getting, again, I'm getting a couple messages, but I'm kind of getting for some of you. And I feel like this is a select few, but I'm almost getting this energy of like kind of being like a secret like teacher almost, like kind of secretly passing your knowledge and wisdom on. It's almost like you have this like some anonymous account online that you're just sharing tips and sharing advice, and it's like you don't want any credit for it. It just makes you feel really good and really happy to put this information out there and to know people are benefiting from it. Like it's just a pure joy place of like you wish you had this and you're making it available. Now, for others of you, I feel like this reversal is indicating a role reversal. So whatever, if at one point, like to get to this place, you may have been the apprentice. So as a result, you're in a position now where you are actually the teacher. Like your roles have reversed. That's what this reversal is, and you're the teacher. Or vice versa. There could have been situations where even as you were like working towards your goal that you were teaching somebody and you're interested in learning something new, a new skill that will take you to the next level. There's just this energy of like, of being open to new things, of being open to changing roles, of being open to, again, paying it forward just feels like a really big message with this group. All right, let's get some oracle cards here. What else can you tell us about pile number 2's future self? What else can you tell us about pile number 2's future self? Solitude. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay, so one thing I'm getting is I feel like, I'm getting, again, a couple messages with this. One is that I actually think you probably, as much as we've got all of this external motion, I think you probably are better about stepping away and taking time for yourself. It might not be a lot of time because, again, this energy is very external. It's very you being out there and doing. But I also think you're not afraid to take time away. And it might just be like, like 10 minutes in the morning or a half hour in the morning that like you do to sit in solitude, or an hour a week or something like that. I'm not getting a big energy of solitude with this group, but that doesn't mean it's not there, or there's none there. So there is, I think it's like you have a place of understanding about what you need to do. I'm also getting, actually, for some of you, I feel like solitude might be where you get some of your best ideas. So like, yes, you might be working and moving things forward, but it's like, it's in the stepping back, it's in the tuning out the noise that you get these ideas, you get the path forward. You're able to, so it's like the idea that like being in solitude is actually very productive for you and very expansive. And I'm also being drawn to the full moon, which is a time of release. So you might be very willing to release the things that aren't serving you. Let's see what else we've got for you. Group number 2. What else can you tell us about the group number 2's future self? I'll get one more for you. There it is. Okay, first up, we've got confidence. Yeah, I can feel that with this group. There's just this like energy of authority, and it's not overbearing. It's just somebody who knows their accomplishments, who knows what they're capable of, and who is willing, because I feel like that's the other thing too, is you have to have a certain amount of confidence if you are in fact doing mentoring or giving. Like you have to have that kind of confidence to know like, yes, I'm in a position to give. I'm in a position to give resources. I have plenty of resources. I know I can replenish my resources, and I'm in a position to give knowledge. I'm in a position to really mentor, and I know I have experience and expertise to share. There is just a lot of confidence in you. And I feel like to a degree, people might not realize just how confident you are, because I am also getting like a humble energy, but you know your power. Like this version of you totally knows your power. And lastly, and I love this, not lastly, we have another deck, but from this deck, we have joy. Joy, I love this for you. I do feel like you are really living from a place of joy. That's also what I was kind of getting with this, the Two of Cups back here. There is just so much joy, and you are so open to it. And I'm almost getting this idea of like, you are not afraid to experience it. You're not afraid to show it, to share it, to just be in your joy. I also love in this, we have the triangle going up. So there is this kind of like upward momentum here. And it's like joy just elevates you. You allow your joy to elevate you and to take you to new places. We also have a dragonfly here, and I feel really called to share that that might be a sign for you. So if you are on your path, if you're unsure, you might want to ask for a dragonfly from your spirit guides to show as guidance that you are on the right path. If that resonates, you can feel free to claim that. And last messages for pile number 2. What last messages do we have for pile number 2? All right, that's a lot. So we're going to take the top one. Okay. First up, we have forgiveness. A crushed flower still gives off a sweet scent. So what I'm getting with this forgiveness is you're really being called to release any negative intent and grudges. I feel like sometimes with forgiveness, we can think that means like if we're forgiving someone, we're saying like what they did is okay. That's not what it means, or at least that's not the meaning I ever identify with. It means like forgiveness truly is something that happens for yourself. It's something you release. It's releasing anger. It's releasing any negative feelings about a person or situation. I would also though note this can happen in your own time, but I feel like this future version of you forgives very quickly. Like they're too worried about their joy. You don't have time for energies that weigh you down. So this isn't saying that you are overlooking other people's slights and anything that might happen. But it is saying that you do not carry negativity with you. Also, you're very forgiving of yourself. And I think that's really important. Like, even if you cannot get to a place for certain situations where you're forgiving of others, I think this version of you is very forgiving of yourself. You just you're not too hard on yourself. Again, there's this like, this real tilt towards joy, and you are willing to forgive and release anything that keeps you out of that joy. And lastly, we've got hidden depths. You only see the surface, look beyond. I actually think like this is what you do. I think you are much more curious in the future version of you. You are looking for hidden depths. I feel like like in yourself, I think that's part of your journey to this version of you is kind of doing some deep excavation, and you find new layers of yourself. You find this version of you is actually already inside you now. And it's about kind of cultivating the space and the characteristics for this version of you to emerge. And I think once you start to do that, like you're able to really do that in other areas of your life. So you're always looking for opportunities. You're always looking for possibilities in people and situations. I feel like part of your journey is becoming more curious and more explorative, if that makes sense, which is it's really fun and really, really light. It's a very light energy. But on that note, pile number 2, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonates, I would love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoyed this reading, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really love to have you in future videos. If you would like a more personalized experience, I do offer recorded readings, live readings, and coaching sessions. All of that is linked in the description box below if that's something you'd be interested in. If that is not speaking to you, but you would like to support the channel, I do have a donation/tip link below in the description box. That is never expected, but always appreciated. And again, it does just go to support the growth of the channel. But no matter what, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey Pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's see your future self. Let's meet your future self. What can you tell us about the future version of pile number 3? Future version of pile number 3. All right, that's way too many. We will take the top card. What can you tell us about the future version of pile number 3? All right, we'll take those. Perfect. Okay, so first up, we have the 10 of Cups, which we love to see. The Magician reversed. The Hierophant. And the 2 of Swords reversed. Okay, very interesting. So if you've had a reading with me before, I like to use the uprights and reversals to kind of indicate different things in different readings. Today, I'm looking at how balanced you are internally versus externally, which is one I do quite a bit. But for this, we've got 2 and 2. You are really balanced with your external focus and your internal focus and energy. So I feel like you are somebody who like you are like doing things. You've got especially very fulfilling relationships, but you're really, and also too, I feel like you are a really powerful leader. Actually, I feel like for a lot of you, like you're a really powerful spiritual leader specifically, but I also feel like you're still doing a lot of internal work. I think you've just kind of scratched the surface of your power, and there's still more cultivation to be done there. And so it's a really beautiful balance of like your external world is really happy and thriving, and I think you're really satisfied and fulfilled there. But there's also like, again, like I feel like it's like you're just scratching the surface. So there's more like there's more power emerging from you. There's more just like there's just more. There's more depth, there's more layers. It's like you are on a journey. And there's just more possibilities that are waiting to emerge, which I love for you. Like I'm just getting such a power from this group. And it's like, again, I feel like it's like you're out of this future version of you knows that you are powerful. Like you see that and you've started to claim that. Like I do feel like you are in a version of your power, but there's just more that's emerging. And there's more that you're tapping into. There's more that you're cultivating. Like, you know, there's more depth there. And it's such a cool place to be in because, again, like I feel like, you know, you are to a degree like living your purpose. You are using your power. And yet it's like so much still, there's still so much more to come online, to come out and to really be channeled and taken advantage of, which I really love for you. It just feels so powerful. But let's go ahead and get into this card by card. So first up with this 10 of Cups energy, we love to see the 10 of Cups. In any position, in any reading, the 10 of Cups is universally welcomed. And for you, I feel like I'm getting so much from this card. So typically it's a card of family. It speaks to really being happy and fulfilled and settled with your family, specifically like a partner. So if like that's something you either have right now or want, just know in the future version of you have that. You have exactly what you want, exactly like the type of connection that you were looking for. If it's kids or like fur babies or just the two of you, like whatever it is, this really speaks to reaching a level of contentment and peace and joy with your family. So this future version of you has that, but I'm almost seeing that like each of these cups really representing something different in your life. So like to me, it's like, okay, this cup is your family. This cup is your creative pursuits. This cup is your career. This cup is your hobbies. It's like everything here represents something different and they're all shining. Like they're all firing on all cylinders. They're going in like, they're meeting in this beautiful middle to make this magical collage of your life. There's just this like really fun, playful, joyful energy that I'm getting with this card for you. And I feel like it's like your future self just lives in that energy. They live in the playfulness. They live in the joy. They live also like in the exploration, because it's interesting too that like we have this like white space that is just like an experiment of color. And I feel like this is a place where like you feel really safe. There's also a level of safety that I think you're experiencing and that has to be here for you so you can be this open and expressive, so you can be this playful and see just what comes next. So there is just this really deep energy of play, of joy, of contentment, of fun. Like it's just so playful and just so joyous, which is why I really love it paired with these other cards. Now, I actually want to talk about the Hierophant first, because let's just stick with the uprights for a second. So this card is what's giving me the energy that like, first of all, I think it's interesting, like we've got 2 major arcana cards here. So I do feel like this future version of you that you decided to connect with is in a really pivotal place. The major arcana cards speak to major life lessons, major life events. So like this is a very prominent time for you that you're connecting with. The Hierophant here, this is what's giving me the impression of you being some kind of spiritual leader. So perhaps if you are like just dipping your toe into tarot, spirituality, whatever it is, this is you really getting to a point where you are a leader in this field to some degree, whether that's your community, online, what have you. You are in a place of wisdom. You are in a place of guidance. I love that we have this crow who's holding the key. I feel like you have the key for a lot of people. You're able to kind of give people the key to their life, the key to what's next is coming up. And also with this lightning strike, it's like this idea of, I'm getting like, you have a lot of wisdom, and it's like when you like drop these gems, it does kind of like, it almost feels like a lightning strike to people because it's such a unique perspective that they have not thought about. So there is this wisdom and this direction. And I love that we have with this bird, like beak open. So I do think you are really sharing your perspective. I think you are really using your voice. This version of you is really using your voice. To make changes, to speak your truth, to share perspectives and guidance. It's really beautiful. Like it feels really powerful and really beautiful and really necessary. Now, with that in mind, let's jump over here to the Magician. Because like I was saying from the beginning, like, yes, you're doing this work. And I feel like, again, like for a lot of you, like you are in this place of like power and authority, specifically like within the spiritual world and spiritual arena. I will also add, if you really aren't connecting to the spiritual side, the Hierophant is also a teacher. So even if it's not specifically a spiritual teacher, though I feel like for most of you watching it is, this is also teaching in another way. It could be like a more literal classroom teacher, but it also could be you just like teaching a course online, whatever you have, what have you. Like there's just this energy of you really using your voice, using your knowledge, using your wisdom, and passing it on, spreading it forward, paying it forward. Excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. But you're really paying it forward in a way that's really meaningful to people. Now, with this Magician reversed, this is what's really giving me the impression that like, so yes, you're doing like you're having all this joy, you have all this really magical and beautiful experiences, you are speaking your truth, you are educating people in some fashion. But then with this Magician reverse, I feel like at the same time, you are realizing there is even more to your power that you have not fully harnessed. You are realizing there's another layer, there's another depth, there's more to explore. Because the Magician, when the Magician is upright, this card speaks to having everything you need to be successful, acknowledging your own power. Like if you look at this card, we have each of the suits represented here. We have the swords, the pentacles, the cups, and the wands. So that represents having everything you need to create your dream life, to manifest your reality. When this card shows up in the reverse, it's an emerging power. It's emerging. That's like kind of recognizing there's more here, you know? So for you, like I'm really just feeling like you're in a place where yes, you are shining, but there's also more skills that you're developing. And it's really fun and really expansive. And like there's more for you. There's more available to you. This future version of yourself that you decided to connect with, they're doing great. Like you're doing great. And yet there's still another level for you to rise up to. And I don't mean that in the sense of like you're not high enough. Like you are. You could stop here if you wanted, but you wouldn't be fulfilled. Like you're seeing like, wow, I'm doing great. I'm thriving. I love what I'm doing. I'm influencing people in a positive way. And yet there's more. There's more I can do. There's more to me. There's more to harness. There's more magic to be experienced and shared. And it just feels so expansive. It just feels so expansive. And that is what's leading us to this Two of Swords reverse. So this is really interesting because when this card came out, one of the things I heard was that this is related to your intuition. This is your intuition like fully and completely coming online. And that's what made me think that for most of you, this Hierophant is some kind of a spiritual leader. Because I feel like, and it's not to say like you have to wait until this point in your life for like to be intuitive. No, I feel like especially if you are identifying with the spiritual aspect, you are already plenty intuitive. But there's like, again, there's more to it that just totally unlocks at this level for you. And it's like you're really learning how to harness the power of your intuition. You're really learning how to make decisions with your intuition and how to share your intuition in a really, really beautiful and magical way. And also I'm being drawn to, because this is giving me like eclipse vibes that we have here. And I feel like it's like, if this is something you've struggled with, this won't be for everybody, but if this is something you've struggled with, this message is for you. If you are someone who, especially when it comes to intuition, where your brain and your intuition are constantly fighting, this is when your intuition, because we've got the moon in front of the sun, right? The moon is the intuition. Your intuition finally eclipses your brain. Your intuition finally takes a back seat. Or no, takes the front seat, finally puts your brain in the back seat and says like, nope, I got it. And your brain learns to trust that. And again, it's not to say that you have to wait until you get to this future version of yourself to access this, but it's like, this is what's emerging for you at this point, where you are truly just in your intuitive power and in your intuitive presence. And I'm also noticing too the colors that we've got in these 3 cards. I mean, this card has all of the colors, but here we've got red, orange, and yellow. Here we've got orange and yellow, and here we've got red, orange, and yellow. So that can definitely correlate to the chakras. We've got red, which is your root chakra. So that's like your sense of safety and security. Then we've got your sacral chakra, which is your creativity, sexuality, any type of like expression, and even like to a degree intuition. You can also get there. And then we've got yellow, which especially in this card, yellow is your solar plexus. That's your personal power. That's your will. That's your drive. So I feel like your journey to this place is really cultivating a strong relationship with each of those power centers and each of those, trying to find the word, each of those aspects of yourself, and allowing those things to come online and really come into balance in a really healthy way. All right, let's add some oracle cards. What else can you tell us about pile number 3's future self? Yeah, we've got going forward. And this totally is the energy of this group. Is like, you are going forward. Like you're definitely helping people in this moment, but I feel like even like being as a leader, you're leading people forward. As a spiritual leader, you're leading ideas forward. And you yourself are going forward. You are digging deeper into yourself. You are following this path. And again, it just feels so expansive. It feels so open. Like this card is a really good depiction of what I feel like the energy of this group is. It is an open field. And there's just nothing but like magic and joy. What else do we have for pile number 3? What else can you tell us about their future self? All right, we've got 3 cards that came out. So one is balance. What did we say at the beginning of this reading? Yes, this group is very, very balanced. I think balance is really important to you. To this version of you, you're really good at maintaining this balance. And I feel like this is not just like we talked about where you're putting your energies, but it's also within yourself. This is just such a balanced energy. There's not really like chaotic energy or activated energy. It's just a very calm and balanced energy. And we have adaptation. So yeah, that makes sense. This version of you is very adaptable. So like as new things come in, you're much more interested in exploring what that might be instead of getting stuck in like, oh no, things are changing. It's like, well, what can this change teach me? Who can I become to welcome this change? Or what do I have to become? Who do I have to become to welcome this change? There's just a sense of flexibility and an openness to evolution that I think is really powerful. And next we have determination, which yeah, I feel like I was kind of getting that with this Hierophant. Like you're determined to stand in your power, to stand in your presence, to put your message out there, to be this leader, but also determined to uncover what's next for you, to tap into that, to your new power, to let this emerge. And I also think it's interesting that we have this kind of circle energy, and we had it too that come on this balance card, but there's like this idea of like understanding that evolution is a continual process and being open to that evolution and knowing that, you know, you are here to evolve and really embracing that. All right, last messages for group number 3. Last messages for group number 3. What can you tell us about their future self? Okay, we've got Twilight. Surrender to the last hour when the light barely touches the flowers. Yeah. I feel like the surrender is what's really jumping out to me here. I feel like you really do reach a place of surrender. And I think that's part of that's why you have so many good things in your life that's really exciting and fun for you, is because you've opened yourself to them. You've surrendered to the process that gets you here. But I also think with this Magician reverse energy and even the Two of Swords reversed, like, you're surrendered to your power. It's because this is the thing that I think people don't really talk about. We like the idea of our power, but it can be intense, and it can be at times kind of scary to wield and kind of scary to tap into when you realize what you're capable of and the responsibility that comes with your power. There is a process of surrender. You have to be open to it. You have to be willing to nurture it and to embrace that responsibility. And I feel like you get to this place where you are very surrendered with your life, but very surrendered with your power and your purpose. And joy. What did we talk about? Yeah, definitely. This is just echoing this 10 of Cups. There is so much joy in your life. And making time for the little things, I feel like you value the little things. And that's part of why you're able to cultivate so much joy, is because you see the joy in the everyday. Of course, we talked, like, there are really big joys in your life, but you are somebody who has made joy a habit. And I think that's part of what keeps you so balanced, is that you're able to come back to this joy. You're able to come back to this really fulfilling life that you've built for yourself. And has created enough safety for you to really grow and expand. And I just love that for you so much, pile number 3. And on that note, I am going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonates, I would love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoyed the reading, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really love to have you in future videos. If you would like to have a more personalized experience, I do have recorded readings, live readings, and coaching sessions available to you. All of that information is in the description box below. And if none of that is right for you, but you do want to support the channel, I do have a donation tip link below. It's never expected, but it's always appreciated, and it just goes to support the growth of the channel. But no matter what, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey Pile 4, welcome to your reading. Let's meet your future self. What can you tell us about pile number 4's future self? What can you tell us about pile number 4's future self? I'll take both of these. Let's try and get you one more. What else can you tell us about pile number 4's future self? Perfect. Okay. Oh, first up we have the 10 of Pentacles, starting off strong. Love that for you. Then we have the 4 of Cups, very interesting, and the 5 of Swords reversed, and the Fool. Okay. This is very interesting energy. It's ultimately very good energy, that what I'm getting. I also think, so, okay, before we dive in, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting a lot for you already. So what I'm getting for this group, how I've been using the uprights and reversals in this reading, if you've been here before, if you've watched one of my readings before, you know I'd like to kind of use those uprights and reversals to kind of tell us a little bit about something that's going on. In this case, we're looking at how much energy you put to your external world versus your internal. And this is telling me that you are kind of prioritizing your external world a little bit, but also that you do have a connection to your internal world. So your priority right now and the future version of you is kind of moving things forward. It's going out in the world, showing up, that kind of energy. But also we do have a little bit of grounded nature, coming back to yourself. I think you have a good connection to that, which is really, really good and really important. But overall, one, I think it's interesting. The yellow is really popping for me on these cards. We've got, obviously, the Fool is very yellow. We've got yellow here. We've got yellow in the Cups. We've got yellow in the Pentacles. So I feel like you're really in a place of power. Yellow really speaks to your sacral solar plexus chakra. So that is your personal power center. That is your will. That is your drive. So actually that really makes sense why we have more upright cards, because I feel like you are in a place where you are very driven. I also feel like I'm just going to share this message with this Four of Cups because it came out when I pulled this card, which is I feel like you're very discerning. Like you have a level of self-trust at this point where you know what's for you and what's not. And you're willing to let go of things that sound good if they're not aligned. I just feel like alignment's really important for you. I also feel like you're really in tune with yourself and you're really willing to put time and energy into things that are supportive of you and supportive of your future. But let's get into this a little bit more card by card. So now with this 10 of Pentacles, I'm getting a few different messages. So you can claim whatever resonates most with you. But for some of you, I am feeling like, so the 10 of Pentacles speaks to really reaching a level of abundance that is like generational wealth. Like you are totally taken care of. You will never need to worry about money again. So I do feel like for a good number of you, you reach that level, like the future version of yourself that you wanted to connect with at this point in time has reached this level of wealth. You have a steady income coming in. You are living from a very abundant place. The other thing I will note with this card is this is the energy of abundance. And I do think wealth is a part of that, but it doesn't have to be like billionaire energy. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. This is just about you being able to live very comfortably. So whatever that energy feels like, however that translates into the material world for you specifically, that's the energy you've got here. So it's less about like a monetary amount and more about you feeling and having enough, more than enough to feel really safe, supported, joyful, free, all of that kind of stuff. Now, the second interpretation that I'm getting is, now I do think no matter what, you are in a pretty abundant place. Like you are feeling really good. It might not be for all of you though, that you have this overflow to that degree that we just talked about. But I feel like if that's not true for you, if that doesn't end up being true for this version of you, you are putting pieces into place for the future. Like you are definitely in excess. One way or another, you are in excess of income, like you are in abundance, deeply in abundance. And I feel like for a lot of you, you are putting yourself in a position where you will have future payouts. So it's the kind of idea of like, I'm getting like investment energy. So you have the income, you have the growth, you have the stability to be like, oh, now I can invest and really grow this money. And you're putting yourself in a position so that in the future, you will have that level of wealth, even if you don't quite at this level. But again, no matter what interpretation, this is a very abundant card. Has you coming from a very abundant place, a very abundant energy. Now, with this Four of Cups, this is really interesting because kind of what I'm getting is this is somebody who I feel like this version of you is someone who is willing to wait to get what they want. So typically the story behind this card is we have this character who we have these 3 cups and they're not what this person wanted. They're empty perhaps, or they're just not what this person wants and they're really dissatisfied. You can see them sitting there arms crossed. They're not happy. But typically there's like the story behind this card is that there is this other cup that's coming in, but they're not seeing it because they're so focused on the 3 cups that aren't working out. What I'm getting for you though is that it's not like you're so focused on what's not working out, but it's also like you would rather have nothing than have something that's not aligned. You would rather let go opportunities that don't feel good than accept an opportunity just for the sake of having this opportunity. You're willing to wait for the magic hand to come in with exactly what you want. And I feel like that's a really good move for you, especially at this stage in the game. Like this is a really place of power that I'm getting, that I feel like you kind of just get to the point where you're like, I'm not compromising on what I want. I'm not compromising on my vision of life. I am willing to wait to be satisfied, to be deeply, deeply satisfied. And I'm really being drawn to the tree that we have here. And I feel like it's like, that's where your abundance grows, because you just get to this place where you are willing to let go of opportunities, no matter how great they may look on paper. You are willing to let go of those opportunities if they don't feel truly aligned with you. if you don't feel really expansive and excited about them. You just get very selective. And it's because of that selection, I feel like, that leads to this abundance, because it's kind of that energy of like, if you aren't like at least 90% yes, if you don't feel like a 90% excitement for something you're saying yes to, it's a no. Because you want to show up with your whole self. And when you are able to show up, when you're that selective, that you're able to show up with that level of excitement, with that level of joy, with all of that stuff, that's where the abundance comes from. Like that's where your abundance is able to grow. And it's because you are showing up with your best self, because you are showing up to places where you can fully commit. And I feel like that's the secret your future self has truly learned. Now, I also feel like, though, for a lot of you, like, this is a bit of a learning process. Some of you might be able to flip the switch and start doing this tomorrow if this sounds good for you. But I feel like there is a bit of a growth arc to get here. You have to kind of train your brain that it's okay to let go of the opportunities that look good on paper but don't feel good. Or maybe you have to create a financial foundation where you're able to make those types of decisions and create a little safety for yourself. Your situation is going to be unique to you, but I'm feeling like there is a bit of a growth arc to get yourself to this place. Now, with this 5 of Swords reversed, so when this card is upright, this is kind of my card of like, you can have what you want. You can have anything you want, but at what cost? You have to be mindful of the cost. And this character typically does not care about the cost. So like the story behind this card is that we have this character, as you can see, he's collecting swords. He's clearly defeated these other characters. And yes, he's victorious, but look at the damage he's done. Like, that person looks like they're crying. Their backs are to our main character here. And so he won the battle, but he lost these people. So that's what this card kind of asks you to consider. Consider the cost, consider the payoffs. I feel like with this reversal, to me, this is like, I feel like by the time you reach this place, you are so deep in your integrity. You are not willing to do anything that will compromise your integrity, will compromise your alignment. Like, if it doesn't feel good, it's not going to work for you. There's just this bone deep certainty that's needed. Everything has to feel good. Everything has to feel aligned for you to actually, because again, it's you showing up. Like, you have, for this version of you shows up to life, to everything in life with excitement, enthusiasm, like is willing to go all in. And because of that, that's you are only picking things that allow you to show up in that way. There's no half-hearted, there's no half-assing. Like, you are all the way in. And to be in that place, you need to be selective about your opportunities, and you are not willing to do things that compromise your integrity to make it to the top. So like, you are really laying a beautiful energetic foundation for this income too. On top of like just getting this income, you are determined to make sure the process of getting here feels really good and aligned. Like, you're not throwing people under the bus, you're not polluting the earth or like anything like that to get this kind of money. You are treating people really well. And I think well-being is a really big, not just well-being and positive contributions are a really valuable aspect of this future version of you. You're very aware of the impacts you have and your actions have on others in the world. And it's also like, I feel like that's part of the key to your success too. Now with the Fool. Here. So when I'm being drawn to the dog, so I feel like this future version of you is very loyal. But I also, like, you are willing to take risks. You are willing to move on to new things. But again, it's that alignment factor. But once something feels aligned, again, you're all in. You are all in. You're leaning in. You're jumping off the cliff. You're going on the journey. You're going on the new adventure. And like, I love, if we look at the body language of this character, the openness of this person, like, they are just ready to lean into life, and to just so open. And that is kind of the energy I'm getting with you too, is like there's an openness. As discerning as you are, you're discerning so you can keep your options open for the alignment. But once something feels aligned, I don't get a lot of second guessing. This version of you is not caught up in your head. Like, you just take the leap. You have enough faith in yourself and enough faith in your integrity. You've done the inner work that when an opportunity comes up, it feels good. It feels aligned. You do your due diligence. You like where the energy's coming from, all of that. If things check out, you're all in. Like, there's not a lot of overthinking or any overthinking. There's really not a ton of thought. It's very intuitive for you. I think at this stage, this version of you is just very intuitive, especially in the decision-making process. All right, let's add some oracle cards in here. What else can you tell us about pile number 4s? Future self. All right, first up, we have love. So I feel like part of this openness, like this makes sense to me, because part of this openness is I think you are more open to love at this stage than you have ever been. And speaking into this 10 of Pentacles, this can also be a card of family. So if you are either with somebody right now, this is leaning into that energy, leaning into that love energy. If you are not, I feel like by the time this version of you really emerges, you will have somebody, and possibly a family if that's something that you want, but leaning into the love in general. But I also feel like this is beyond relationships. Again, this is like this version of you. You are only doing what you love. You are only doing what you can show up to enthusiastically. Like, the energy of this group is just like, honestly, it feels kind of like excited dog, which I'm not trying to compare the future version of you to a dog, but like, that energy where it's just like, you just can't wait to go out and play. That's kind of the energy you have for life at this point, but it's because you're so selective. You're only doing the things you love. So like, you just can't wait to get out of bed every day. Oh, and focus. This makes so much sense. Again, like, you're putting your whole self into things. Your focus is like, you are laser focused. The things that you are doing, you are laser focused on. So I feel like for some of you, I'm feeling like focus might be a problem for you. And I think you need to know it's rooted in the number of options and the number of things that try to grab our attention. So like, like when you go online, the way like TikTok and Instagram, how algorithm driven they are, the fact that like they're giving you these short segments, these short like videos, and they just like kind of train you to keep going. It can make it hard to focus. And I think that's part of like, you've gotten to the point where you really recognize the things that are for you and the things that aren't, and you limit your focus to only the things that really excite you, which has I feel like it's drastically improved your focus. I feel like in the future, you aren't somebody who's on social media a lot. That may not be true for all of you, or if you are, it's very purpose driven. I don't think you're someone who's consuming social media just to kill time. Like, again, there's just this energy of like, what type of life you're trying to create, and you are laser focused on that purpose. What else do we have for pile number 4? Card's really popping for you. All right, so first we have rebirth, which totally makes sense. I do feel like between the version of you that's watching this and this version of you, there is a big rebirth. I think there's a big shift in your energy, big changes, big transformation, big snake skin shedding, all of the things. This version of you that emerges, it emerges really powerfully. Just really, really powerfully. And then hunt, which I think is so interesting. I am kind of feeling like, again, it goes back to like kind of like dog energy, but it's more specifically like dog with a bone and this focus energy. Like when you decide you want something, you kind of go on a hunt for it. So yes, you're open to opportunities, but that doesn't mean you can't create opportunities. But again, you are hunting for the perfect opportunity. You're hunting for the perfect alignment. You're uncompromising in quality. Like, this doesn't mean when I say uncompromising, I'm not saying like, you're going to be like ridiculously stubborn and like unreasonable. But no, you do have things that you won't compromise on. You do have like relationship quality. again, it's the things that you're giving your attention to. You will not compromise on the energy that you show up with. And in order to show up with that much joy and enthusiasm and excitement, you need to make sure you're doing things with integrity and you're really just living your purpose and staying within your power and presence. Last messages for pile number 4. All right, one that flipped over. All right, so that's a little more than I wanted, but these are short messages. So we'll take them all. Change. As with the falling leaves, embrace change. Yeah, I feel like this is really important for this group. For some of you watching, I feel like this is kind of a big departure from who you are now. So I do think there is a lot of change that might come in to put you in this energy. It's also really encouraging you to lean into change, not to fear change, to have faith that change is taking you someplace better. Bloom and attract more than butterflies. Yeah. And again, I feel like this kind of, I feel like this narrowing down your focus is going to be really important for your bloom, but like that was what allows you to bloom because you are solely focused on what you want to be nourishing and growing. And that is how you, again, like that's just how you're able to bloom and how you're able to make things happen. Share. The busy bee should still make time for every flower. And this is also something I feel like the future version of you. Yes, we talked about you being laser focused, but this isn't just on like career driven or you know, what have you. I feel like this is also about your relationships. Like this share is telling me like you actually are really balanced. Like it's perhaps part of what led to your desire to focus is because you value your relationship so much. You value the love in your life that you want to make sure that you have as much time for this as possible. So when it comes to your impact on the world, how you're making money, that kind of stuff, you have decided to get very specific and very targeted on where you're giving your time and attention to, so that you're able to give as much time and attention to your whatever looks like love for you as you can, the people you love, the relationships you value. Beginnings. Don't be afraid to start small. Okay, I feel like this is actually a message for you in the present moment, that this to get here might seem like a big shift for some of you. And for some of you, I really think it is. This is here to tell you this doesn't need to happen overnight. In fact, it's not supposed to. Start small. It will be a small start. It's something that just has to unfold, evolve. You don't have to control this. You don't have to force it. You don't have to rush it. Just allow it to happen. Allow it to be. And on that note, pile number 4, I'm going to end this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, I would love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoyed this reading, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really love to have you in future videos. If you like a more personalized experience, I do have recorded readings, live readings, and coaching experiences all available in the description box below. If that's not right for you, but you would like to support the channel, I do have a tip and donation link in the description box below. It's never expected, but it's always appreciated, and it goes to support the growth of the channel. But no matter what, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.